In this lesson, we'll be reviewing regrouping when adding and subtracting fractions and mixed numbers, meeting the requirements for TEKS 53H and 53K. Regrouping is an idea you're already familiar with, and I'll show you many examples in this lesson. Regrouping essentially means we will rearrange things into new groups. In this particular lesson, it means we'll be doing some rewriting of improper fractions as mixed numbers, as well as rewriting whole numbers as fraction equivalents. Regrouping is all about place value. This is something you've seen before, but we should review this to make sure we're all on the same page. We should recognize that when we see the number 369, we see 3 groups of 100, we see 6 groups of 10, and we see 9 ones. We see 3 hundreds, 6 tens, and 9 ones, or the number 369. We know if we were to add the number 369 to the number 1, 369 plus 1, you're probably saying already, hey, that's 370. Sure, but let's talk about why. I always add starting with the smallest place value. So in this case, the ones, right? 9 plus 1 gives me 10. 9 ones and another 1 give me 10 ones. Well, when I write that, I write 10 ones as 0 ones and a group of 10. I have regrouped. Instead of saying 10 ones, I say I have 0 ones and a new group of 10. 9 plus 1 gives me a new group of 10. So I have 0 in the ones, I have a new group of 10s, and so 6 tens and 1 10 gives me 7 tens. And I still have my 300s. So 369 plus 1, or 300s, 6 tens, and 9 ones, plus 1, give me 300s, 7 tens, and 0 ones. Regrouping also needs to happen sometimes when we're subtracting. For example, what happens if I'm subtracting 369 minus 73? Well, we know we begin with the smallest place value, the ones. And I have 9 ones, take away 3 ones. And I understand that that means I have 6 ones. 9 take away 3 leaves me with 6. I move to the tens place value. 6 minus 7. Wait a minute. 6 minus 7, I can't take 7 away from 6. I don't have enough tens. So we know to borrow. I move to the next place value, 300s, and I regroup. I change my 300s to 200s, and I add a new group of 10 tens, which is equal to 100, so I'm not changing the value. I add 10 tens to my 6 tens. So I now have 16 tens minus 7 tens, which I know is 9 tens. And I bring down the 200s I have remaining. So that 369 minus 73 is 296. 2 groups of 100, 9 groups of 10, and 6 ones. 296. Just as we may have to regroup when adding and subtracting whole numbers, sometimes we may have to regroup when adding or subtracting fractions or mixed numbers. And here's an example using fractions. We know when we add fractions, we need to find a common denominator first. The good news is here we already have a common denominator. So when adding, we keep that common denominator and simply add the numerators. So our sum would be 12/8. Now, regrouping It has to happen here because we have a larger numerator than denominator. We have an improper fraction. In other words, we have more eighths. We have more than 8 eighths. And so we need to regroup. Just like when we had 10 tens, we had 100, or 10 ones, we had one group of 10. Here, when we have more than 8 eighths, we need to regroup. Because every 8 eighths, if I cut a hole into eighths and shade all 8 of them, sure, I have 8 eighths, but that's the same thing as one whole. One whole. Just like having 10 ones would be one group of 10, or a 1 in the tens place, 8 eighths would give me one whole. So if I made 8 of my eighths into one whole, I would still have 4 eighths shaded here to give me my total of 12 eighths. So this fraction would be 4 eighths. So that 12 eighths would be regrouped into one whole and 4 eighths. And we know that if we had 1 and 4 eighths, we would then simplify that mixed number, 1 and 4 eighths. We would simplify the fraction portion of that mixed number by the greatest common factor of 4 and 8, which is 4, to give us 1 and 1/2. 12 eighths would be rewritten by regrouping into one whole. 8 of my eighths made one whole, with 4 eighths remaining. And 4 eighths, or 4 over 8, would be simplified to 1/2. 12 eighths was regrouped into the mixed number of 1 1/2. Sometimes regrouping needs to occur first. For example, what if I have 1 1/3 minus 2/3? I know that I need to subtract beginning at the smallest place value, so in this case, the fractions first, and then the whole numbers. So if I have 1/3 minus 2/3, I have 1/3, and I need to take away 2/3. But can I take 2/3 away from 1/3? I can't. So much like we borrowed in our earlier subtraction problem with whole numbers, we can borrow here as well. We can take our one whole and turn it into 3/3, because we know if we had one whole broken into thirds and all 3 pieces shaded, we'd have 3/3. So I can take my one whole, change it into 3/3, add it to the 1/3 that I already have to give me a total of 4/3. 4/3 minus 2/3. When I subtract fractions, I need common denominators, and in this case, I already have them. I keep my 3. And I simply subtract my numerators, and 4 minus 2 is 2. So I know that 1 1/3 minus 2/3 can be rewritten as 4/3 minus 2/3, which would equal a solution or difference of 2/3. We have regrouped our whole number into fractional form so that we could then subtract 2/3 from 4/3. Let's try another example. What if I have 2 1/2 plus 2 1/2? I begin by adding my fractions. I start with my smallest place value, my fractional parts first. 1/2 plus 1/2. I'm looking for common denominators, and I already have them. So I keep the denominator I have in this case of 2. And I simply add my numerators. 1 plus 1 makes 2. So I have 2 halves. And now I add my whole numbers. 2 here and 2 here gives me a total of 4. 4 and 2 halves. Now think about this. 2 halves can be regrouped. Just like having 10 ones would become 1 10 and 0 ones, 2 halves would become 1 whole. If I have something and I cut it in half, and then I have both halves, don't I have the whole thing? So we know that 4 and 2 halves can be regrouped into 5 wholes. The 4 wholes plus the 1 whole that's equivalent to the 2 halves. So this is regrouped into 5. 2.5 plus 2.5 equals 5. And how about another subtraction example? So if I have, say, 1 and 5/8 minus 3/4. 1 and 5/8 minus 3/4. I need to start with my fractions, my smallest place value first, my fractional parts, then my whole numbers. 5/8 minus 3/4. Now you'll remember we need common denominators, and right now we don't have them. So 8, 16, 24, 32. Finding multiples, right? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And I find the number 8 is on both lists. And in fact, it's the smallest number on both lists. So I'm going to change my denominator in both fractions to 8. That's my common denominator. So I have 1 and 5/8 minus, how did 4 become 8? Times 2. So 4 times 2 made 8. So 3 times 2 makes 6. I've rewritten my problem as 1 and 5/8 minus 6/8. Beginning with my fractions, 5/8 minus 6/8. Well, if I only have 5/8, can I take away 6/8? The answer is no. But I can borrow. Just like I would in a subtraction problem involving whole numbers, I can move to the next place value and borrow. So I change or borrow from my 1 whole, it's 8/8, right? 1 whole would be 8/8. So I take my 1 whole, I regroup it into eighths, and then combine it with the 5/8 I already have. So 8/8 and 5/8 would make a total of 13/8. 13/8. Now I can subtract. 13/8 minus 6/8 gives me 7/8. I know that 1 and 5/8 minus 3/4 is 7/8. I've regrouped whole numbers into fractional parts, borrowing just like I would in subtraction problems. Let's go ahead and wrap up this lesson. In this lesson, we focused on reviewing regrouping. I showed you that you already regroup when you carry in addition problems and you borrow in subtraction problems, and that carrying and borrowing with whole numbers using place value is very similar to what we'll do when we regroup when adding and subtracting fractions and mixed numbers. We're essentially rearranging into new groups. Rewriting improper fractions as mixed numbers is regrouping. Borrowing from whole numbers, their fractional parts, so that we can continue to subtract is also regrouping. Regrouping is something you use with whole numbers focused on place value, and you'll use as well when adding and subtracting fractions and mixed numbers.